covering off from the last video, a solution architect needs to know enough detail about quite a wide range of things to be able to sort of, course correct, to use air quotes. Now, what I've done is I've written out some of the sort of aspects that I would assume a solution architect for our example sort of customer-facing web app, so it's a website, it's functionality, would need to sort of be able to be informed, have a conversation about, and understand from a point of view of saying, all right, I think we should go with this one because these are the reasons. I think we should go with this one because these are the reasons. Now, obviously, I don't mean just there firing off decisions. I would expect a solution architect to document the reasons, pros and cons, the rationale, etc. However, I would still expect them to be able to be the producer of these pieces of information with a rationale and with choices as well, to show that it wasn't just a one-horse race. So, examples of this within the web space, for instance, now these are high level. I personally go into more detail, and that covers things like authentication and perhaps like diagnostics when someone has a problem, all this sort of stuff. But anyway, so in web, I would expect a solution architect to understand aspects of the CSS. So we're using this particular framework, and this is the reason. Analytics, these are the tools we're using for analytics. Like I sort of said before, I sort of picked it up a bit with the examples, but say like Adobe Analytics or Google or whatever. JavaScript. So this is the JavaScript framework we're going with, and this is the rationale. These are the other JavaScript frameworks that are available, and these are the reasons why we didn't go with them. We're going with this one. Use of things like iframes, this is why we're using iframes, or this is why we're not using iframes. A bit retro, but it just sort of throwing in the fact that there are components within HTML that people should have an opinion on if they're building websites. Whether you're going with responsive website, where maybe you're feeding maybe you're serving your customers with website with responsive functionality, or whether you're going with mobile app or maybe hybrid. And also aspects like this is, we're going to use WebGL, we're going to use this particular framework, and these are the reasons. We can imagine with the sort of SVG charting as well, all those sort of things. So the solution architect should have a view, for this instance, web, on what the choices are. They should have had experience with them, or at least be aware of them down to quite a specific level, so you can sort of say, a plus or a minus for each sort of, scenario option you've gone through. Now, that's what a solution architect role should be capable of doing. You may have someone who's an expert in something specific, but a solution architect really does need to be, generic enough across these layers to be able to have like an opinion based on experience, based on knowledge, and to be honest, like based on doing things wrong before, sort of lessons learned. So that goes for all these different aspects. That is solution architecture role, and to be honest, I think from a point of view of all these aspects, you've got the dimensions almost. So if you imagine these are dimensions of, business, application, infrastructure, data, security, whatever. But then you've also got sort of different dimensions across those as well, where, different options are being considered, and the experience all feeds into this so that you can make the right decision. What you don't want to do is you don't want to just have someone that only knows one thing. So this is where we're sort of getting to the important stuff. Obviously it's all important, but the crux of solution architecture role. So there's this analogy, I suppose it is, where people say if you ask a carpenter how you should make a house, they'll say make it of wood. If you ask a bricklayer, they'll say make it of bricks. Now, solution architecture shouldn't be like just a carpenter. It shouldn't be just a bricklayer. It's not the way a solution architect should be sort of geared up. And like I say, going back to politeness around this, it's the solution architecture role. So if you have, for instance, so let's make this specific. If you have a solution architect from a vendor, so let's say the vendor is Mike CRM, and as I've said about before, I've worked in CRM quite a long time, so I can hopefully pretend quite well about this product. So they have a core CRM system. Now this CRM system has sort of case management. It has a sort of customer and sort of party management. It has other things within CRM systems as sort of typical CRM systems, so case management, customer management, content management. So that is the core of the product. That was the core of the product. Now they've diversified, so they now have a marketing portal. And I say they have now diversified. Let's face it, it's probably about 10, 15 years ago, but they still have a sort of plug-in onto their CRM system, marketing web portal. I say them, this is my imaginary CRM system, so it's mine. So, 15 years ago, we diversified, we started adding bits and pieces on. I always liked web, so I thought I'd make a marketing portal. And maybe they have other things as well. They have a sort of finance system as well. So they acquired a company which specialised in finance, GL, etc. All that sort of stuff, invoicing. So anyway, clients had traffic again. I obviously bought that company. I bought the finance company. So anyway, so they have all this stuff. Now, Mike CRM is great. I own the company. We have certifications. I should also say Mike CRM is totally now in the cloud and uses AI as well. Or very fluffy cloud, but anyway, you get the point. So anyway, we've got certifications. Now our certifications are the best, to be honest. They're very expensive. You can get, I don't know, one certification at $4,000. It's quite cool. Anyway, so Solution Architect. Let's have Cloud Specialist. AI Specialist. And let's also have Financial Reporting Specialist. So, most CRM has certifications. It has all these things, but from point of view of general best practice, point of view of where the core money is within my CRM, it's this guy. That's where we got our loyalty. We're working in this for ages. It's what started off the product. That's our core, but we do provide these other additional products. And the reason for that is that we just got some demand from clients. They said, we want to build a website. Can you help? We want to do some data analytics and reporting. We need to do the invoicing. Our account system is not very good. All these things. So basically, these are sort of additional bits. Now, he's got the certifications as well. So we've got these. And you'll see that there is a certification, which is Solution Architect. Now, what I should point out with this is a Mike CRM Solution Architect. So anyway, all of this, if I have a Solution Architect who's done the certification, and they have also done loads of other bits and pieces, they did the certification because they wanted to become expert in this CRM system, and they wanted to understand the right way of doing things. That's great. Now, use blue pen here. So, got my little essay here. I'm going to put him in this picture. I need to sort of refer to other bits. But anyway, so you've got Mike Essay here. Mike Thoreau's essay. No, sorry, ignore that. Can't have another one, is there? So you've got Solution Architect, and out of the many things that they know, they have a cert in this CRM system. Yeah, so that's great. They probably have another something. So Mike's CRM is going to get too small, but so Mike's certification, they probably have the various different cloud providers, cloud certs as well. They have maybe like database ones. They have languages, Python and Java and JavaScript, all that stuff. It's one of those things where they aren't just a solution architect that knows this Mike CRM system. They're a solution architect that has learned about Mike CRM, but it's pretty much like everything else. It's another tool in the box that they can use. So the opposite to this good CRM, actually I'll leave him there because that's or her there because it's probably a good comparison. The opposite of this sort of solution architect, which we'll just call specific, is they only have this certification. They only have the certification for Mike CRM. See there, sorry, it's a bit small, but anyway. So if you ask them what web portal should you use, they don't have any other knowledge other than the marketing web portal. If you ask them what framework they should use, they may well have done a certification that means they understand what the framework is in the web portal. So, I mean, that's just jokingly say jQuery. So they have jQuery and Bootstrap in the marketing portal. Now, when you come to the architecture design document, they're going to say, we're using this web portal because it's the web portal that comes with our CRM system. If you ask them to provide other options, they won't be able to do it because they don't have the experience to be able to provide the insight into why a specific framework would be better than using jQuery and Bootstrap. And it goes the same with all of these aspects. If someone only has visibility of this specific CRM system, they will not be ticking the boxes in terms of the different understanding for business, application, infrastructure, security, data architecture, or be able to provide the different options for the different technologies that are available for the various different problems you're trying to solve. So, well, this feels terrible, crying to get rid of such beautiful drawing. And I just want to reiterate as well, this is not saying that you don't need specialists. So, solution architect, needs to be a specialized generalist. So they need to understand about business architecture. They need to understand about the application architecture. They need to understand hosting or the infra. They need to understand data, and they also need to understand aspects with regards to things like security and risk. They need to know all those things. And they need to be able to compare different options. So, like I say, we've got these as sort of, different, one dimension. And you've then got other dimensions where they should be able to give you a good view on a number of different options for the different solutions that cover business, application, infrastructure, data, security and risk. And please don't get us confused with regards to responsibilities to align to enterprise architecture. But where there are choices to be made, the solution architecture role needs to be able to identify the different options and then come up with rationale for why they've chosen specific options. The solution architect role needs to cover all of this. However, as I said before, example of mainframe, they can pull in SMEs. Now, the SMEs are not generalized specialists, they're specialists. So we've got business, application, infra, data, security. Yeah? If there is some sort of maybe cutting edge piece within the application space, within the web, and it's using some maybe SVG or charting library, whatever it is, the solution architect solution architect role may well get input from web. So a JavaScript, so let's say JavaScript, SVG, web SME. They undoubtedly will get input from security SME for security aspects. And use the mainframe example. So a mainframe SME, again, if they do need input regarding mainframe, they will get mainframe SME to give them input. However, it's the SA, the solution architect role, that owns the production of the architecture design document and the ability to articulate, this is what we decided we're going to do. We've got buy-in from all the stakeholders. This is the rationale. And the rationale is, pros and cons. This is the reason why we're doing it. That is different to the previous drawing, a specialist in a specific product. And the specialist in a specific product, even if they have certification of named solution architect, does not mean that they are doing a solution architecture role if all they're coming from is the fact that they are specialists in that product. So, Mike CRM as the example, let's put here. Mike CRM SME is here. Now, the Mike CRM SME may have the solution architecture certification provided by Mike CRM, but if they do not have the expertise and knowledge across all these different areas, then they're not the solution architecture role, they're just another SME. And this is where it's really important when you're building teams, when you're identifying need for resources, that you don't just try and grab someone that seems to have the right title, because they really do need all this. Otherwise, you will end up with a design document that says, we have chosen, and obviously Mike CRM, fictitious CRM product, but for our web portal, we have chosen Mike CRM. This is because it's the CRM portal that is on Mike CRM. For accountancy capabilities, we have chosen Mike CRM finance reporting and account module. For CRM, we have chosen Mike CRM. And there won't be any options or any sort of meaningful options where people can actually see what were the qualities of selection for these things. Now, if you do have insight into the different options, maybe the Mike CRM portal is a good one, and say well integrated into the product. We decided to use this, got great capabilities such as AV testing, it's got analytics built in, it's hosted in the same environment as the CRM system, costs are understandable, great FinOps reporting, etc. And then as other options, you say, well, we're possible use our marketing tool that we have in-house. However, integration is really difficult. There are problems with maintenance, and they use a legacy version of technology that needs to be replaced within the next year. They're all compelling points to use the Mike CRM portal. But if the person that you've got doing this evaluation is incapable of really being able to evidence and explain and justify why the decision they've gone with is the decision they've gone with, then that's not really a solution architecture role. So all of that It's all about clarity. It's all about understanding what your requirements are. The architecture design document is a really good, and like I say, it might be named something else, but the architecture design document is a really good way in which you can understand whether you have the right resourcing for a particular delivery. So, to recap, solution architecture role is a very important role with regards to producing the design document, the architecture design document. It could be a person or it could be multiple people. And the reason for that is there might be high complexity and you need coordination, you need full-time involvement from a solution architecture point of view perspective. However, trying to use specialists and SMEs to fill in these sort of documents and provide rationale that the whole team can stand by and say hand on heart, we made the right decision for the organisation, is extremely difficult. So when you're looking at hiring solution architects, please don't just look at whether they have a specific certification for a product. When you do that, you're actually certain that they're an SME, or should be certain they're SME, certification's good. Certain they're an SME, but you're not certain that they are a solution architect that can understand different things as well. And for instance, going back to the example, Mike CRM, it's the choice. We have our solution architect, he's got the certification from Mike CRM, he's the one. Then overnight, Mike CRM unfortunately announces they're bankrupt. There's no support, and unfortunately the owner's going to jail. It's not very nice, is it? What happens next? Well, you have an expert on the team who did the solution architecture certification with Mike CRM. There's a different one now. It's called Joe Blog CRM, and solution architect, instead of having a whole load of experience where they can then apply that to the new CRM system, they have that very narrow view on Mike CRM. And chances are, from working with different CRM systems, is it's probably very different, and it would be an incredibly difficult process to either replace that solution architect or have them adapt to a new CRM system. So anyway, hopefully this is useful. I'll continue to do these sort of videos, and yeah, just hopefully these are providing value in terms of some of the rationales, some of the thought processes. Although this sounds a bit preachy, I'm hoping this is useful in terms of you preparing conversations with your stakeholders, maybe with a change delivery team that's funding solution architects, maybe with vendors as well. So if you can use these sort of, not arguments, reasonings with them, then it should mean that your deliveries are safer, they have more rationale as to why they've been done in the way that they have. You should have more confidence in terms of the actual cost that you're going to have, in terms of total cost of ownership. If you like the video, please click the like, and also if you want to see the videos coming along, please subscribe. Thanks very much. Bye.